Well, here we are, back again, 2 days in a row. Wow, that's really something, Tim.
Man, that curb is seriously. Is that regulation size or what? Anyway, hello! Welcome back to yet another, number 7 of Tim Driving Uncensored. So today might be a shorter one, and we're going to talk about something that I don't think anybody would expect me to talk about. We're going to talk about the environment. The environment. And what we're doing to it, and why. I'm going to shatter some people's beliefs on the environment, and I'm going to, this is going to be a kind of a bummer to a lot of people that consider themselves environmentalists, but really aren't. They're people that say things, and then they do what they're told without even thinking about it for a moment. Because if you really care, and I think most people should, they should care enough to do something, and about when it comes to the environment, if they're going to say that they care about the environment. And one of the things that I hear from people all the time is that I care about the environment. And then I go, do you care enough to question what you've been told about the environment in order to protect it, when the government is telling you to do something that doesn't protect the environment at all? At all. In fact, it does more harm than good. Really, this all kind of stems from the common thread that you'll see when I'm kind of critiquing the greater society in which I exist anyway, as an American. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is mandatory recycling. Mandatory recycling. Now, of course, anybody who's an environmentalist, they will sit there and they'll tell you, Tim, recycling helps the environment. I was told so, and I've been taught so, and I have been told so repeatedly. In fact, you will get a ticket if you don't recycle properly. Now, what I'd like to say about the word recycle, the word recycle in the United States anyway, in places where it's mandatory, which is pretty much everywhere now, it's mandatory for you to separate, at the very least, we're just going to talk about tin and plastic. You know, we'll simplify it by saying cans and, paper, I guess, or, now there's even there's ways to recycle anything. Now, recycling. What does that word actually mean when it comes to you living in a place, in any kind of a, I don't know, jurisdiction, town, whatever. If you live in a township that says you must recycle, okay, you have to. If you don't, or if your cans are mixed in with things or whatever, we catch you doing it, and it's this way in a lot of places, especially bluer states, where of course everybody cares about the environment. They will tell you, they will fine you if you don't put your garbage where it's supposed to be. Now, the word recycle, what it actually means, the reality of the word recycle in the United States, anyways, means sorting garbage for the government. That's what you're doing. You are sorting garbage in order to stay out of jail. Because let's be honest with ourselves, let's say you don't recycle something properly, and then they come to you and they go, you didn't recycle this properly, you're getting fined. And you go, well, I'm not going to pay that fine. And then over time, those fines continue to build up. Then they're going to come to you and say, you owe us this much money off all these fines. You're a derelict. We're throwing you in jail. because you didn't put the garbage where we told you to put the garbage. Now, at this point, there's still a lot of people who are sitting there, and most of them are going to hear this and they're going to go, oh, that's a good, interesting theory. It's not a theory. You can look up numbers and you can see for yourself how this happens. When a government institutes mandatory recycling, are you producing more garbage as a person? Probably not. You're probably producing the same amount of garbage. So we'll split it into like this. We'll do 1 can and 2 pieces of paper. So let's say 33% of your garbage is like that goes in the recycle bin, and 66%, 66, the other 2/3 goes into the waste bin. Okay. Now, where did those bins come from? We are now manufacturing twice as many bins made out of usually plastic or rubber, okay, which we know that's manufacturing that is probably not the best. That's what we've been told is bad for the environment, okay? So you're sorting the same net amount of garbage that you have always produced into 2 separate bins. And now those bins you must purchase through certain companies that, of course, are all about recycling because it means they get more money. Then, the same net amount of garbage that is now sorted into 2 rubber bins that are being manufactured are being picked up by 2 different diesel-spitting trucks that are now bringing it to usually the same place. They're both bringing it to the same dump. Okay? Now, on top of that, on top of your tax dollars paying for these 2 separate diesel trucks and these 2 different rubber bins, you are now paying 2 crews of gentlemen to dispose of your garbage. Now, these men are getting paid with tax dollars to do that job. They are driving. They're still driving to the place to then get into the thing. So now you have twice as many people picking up the same amount of garbage that's put in 2 rubber bins that are being manufactured now twice as often as they used to. And then, on top of all of that, ask yourself this question. What are you doing to your recyclables? What are you usually doing to your recyclables, especially the tin and the plastic, before you put it away, before you get rid of it? You're using water to rinse it off. So now we're using even more water. We're using water to rinse garbage before we sent it to the dump. Are you allowed to write off the cost of that water? No. And now think of this. In a place like California, which now is experiencing all these droughts and things, do you think that they're ever telling you, don't worry about rinsing off your garbage? No, they're like, you're not allowed to water your lawn. You know that stuff that grows out and creates cleaner air? You know all your plants that literally filter the air? Don't do that. But definitely, if you don't rinse off your garbage, you're in a lot of trouble. You can get in trouble for not rinsing off your garbage. And when you're doing business, and when you're doing something, you usually should be able to write off the cost of doing business. But now you're not allowed to. Recycling is terrible for the environment when it is mandatory. If you had a whole bunch of people that were not forced to recycle, you're already, if you just got rid of recycling mandatorily, you'd already be doing more, we'd have a better environment than the other way. Now I'm not even calculating the cost of then taking those tin things to another place where they are melted down, usually with very hot stuff that's burning, and they're melted down and then put back together, then shipped back to a place. You know what I mean? Now, is recycling, actual recycling, inherently bad? No. but is the way the word is used, what the word connotes in the United States, it's terrible. It's terrible. If you're forcing people to do it, it's terrible, usually. I don't think you can force people to do anything good. That's kind of a rule of thumb. You can't really force anyone to do anything good. Now, if you're somebody who says you're a huge environmentalist and you sort it all yourself, even if you're not, if you're like an Ed Begley Jr., who lives what he preaches and like has a compost heap and does all this stuff, that's better. That can actually work if you're doing it yourself and you're using your own resources to do it, because you're going to do it in the most cost-effective way that you can. But does it make sense for twice as many trucks to be manufactured to do the same job that used to do it? The other thing is on a government thing, it's just like they go every Sunday and then they go around and blah 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 blah. But you don't always have the same. Might not need it picked up on Sunday. So if you had the ability, like an app, and you had a private company that is out there, like picking up your garbage for you whenever you want it to be picked up. If you had an app on your phone and a private company was coming to pick up your garbage, and you could just go, I need my garbage picked up tomorrow at this time. What they could do is then have on the other end is an app that would take anybody who has in their area that they service and map out a route on whatever days they need to come and get it. And then that would make it more cost effective for everybody. But it's like, are people going to pay a private company to do something that they're already paying taxes for? No. So what you need to do is to do private buyouts of all these recycling plants. Or not, maybe some of the recycling plants are privatized or whatever, but then they all have these government contracts, which makes them not. This is the problem with crony capitalism, which is what we have in the United States. There's all this regulation that causes problems without anybody actually stopping and going, why don't we just get rid of the regulation? We can still do it. We can go out and sell this idea to people, and we can get them to recycle by incentivizing them to recycle, by advertising the service to them in a way and letting them know that they're going to pay less than what they would with their taxes. And it would be better for the environment. It doesn't take long to stop and think about certain things. The problem is nobody stops and thinks. They go, the TV told me recycling good. Me use recycled now. Me recycle. TV tell me good thing. I do thing that TV says. No more thinking needed. And it's like, stop and think about it for 2 seconds. I care enough about the environment to go, you know what the battle is? But good luck. Good luck trying to convince somebody in power to sell that to the masses. Good luck. Because everyone's going to go, that's stupid. Everyone knows recycling good. Why would I not recycle? Recycling good. I didn't think I was going to get this worked up about the environment. But it's maddening because people don't stop and think. And then when you stop and think and you go, good luck selling that to people, and it's like, good luck selling what? Intelligence? Yeah, I know. That's a problem. Stopping to think about things and realizing that they're wrong? Oh, getting people to admit that they're wrong? Good luck. It's possibly the hardest thing there is to do. To get people to admit that they are wrong. And it's not really that hard. Once you start realizing, you go, oh no, I don't know enough about that to have an opinion. But everyone goes, oh no. Everybody has told me repeatedly And, because the general consensus is that this thing is good, it's good. No further studies needed. And go look up some studies about is recycling bad for the environment? And when it's forced, yes, it is. This is a shorter one. It was a shorter one, but that's just like something it baffles me when I see that, because we're hurting the environment by listening to the government. You can bet your ass if the government says it's good, it's probably not. It's probably not. Most likely, it's not going to be good. And why don't you look up the lawyer who was like in charge of some environmental thing? While you're at it, look up the name of the guy who was representing Christine Blasey Ford, and sitting over there going, the defendant can't do the thing, or whatever she was, prosecutor, accuser, whatever. What was she? What was the point of that whole thing? What a stupid circus that was. What a completely useless just drain on taxpayer money and time. What a stupid circus that was. Nothing. It didn't do anything good for anyone involved. Oh, and where did Christine Blasey Ford go? She's gone. How did we get on Christine Blasey Ford? Oh yeah, because her lawyer. Maybe I should do 3 quotes for like the 3 parentheses. Maybe that's the way we should do it now. Her lawyer worked for the Obama administration for environmental something seafloor nonsense bullcrap. Some useless title. Basically just collected a check for a long time. Just collected a check on the taxpayer dime. Thanks for the money, everybody. I work for the government. I must be great. Yay! I'm in a ridiculous mood right now. A really ridiculous mood. Alright. You know what? I'm going to wrap it up. This is going to be a shorter one. But I gave you a couple in a row. Like a couple days in a row. And it's a beautiful sunset. And frankly, I want to go sit somewhere and enjoy it. Song recommendation. Let's see here. Should probably be watching the road. Alright. You know, I've always had a soft spot for girl rock. I know some of you don't like it. I would check out Lost My Cool by the band Stand Atlantic off their album Skinny Dipping. It's total girl rock. It's like they hate being compared to Paramore. They're kind of Paramore-y. It's not a bad thing, I don't think. They're just a 3-piece band, female singer. I know some people are like, some people like aren't really into female singers or something, but I watch a lot of music videos when I listen to music too. So like, I'd rather stare at a woman than a dude. Like a dude, sometimes watching a dude perform doesn't always it doesn't always connect with me the same way. When I'm listening to music though, it doesn't really matter. I do like the tonality of a woman's voice generally over a man's when it comes to singing. It's a good. This is just like straight 3-piece pop punk. You know what I mean? But Stand Atlantic, they're from Australia. Pretty good. I enjoy them. It's their first album too. I think their first full-length album, and I would check them out. They're not bad. All right. Well, that's it for me. Don't recycle. Ooh, is that better for the environment? I don't know. Yes, it is. At the very least, stop rinsing off your stuff. Stop using water constantly. It'll save you money, and it will save water from being used all the time to rinse off garbage. Okay, at the very least, if you want to help things out, stop using water to rinse off your garbage before you sort it for the government, who is charging you. You are paying the government to sort your own garbage and rinse it off by using more water that you're paying for. Okay? Start spreading the word. Start getting people out of this mindset of just blindly listening to whatever the television or the authorities tell them is good. It usually is not, especially if you have to force people to do it. If you're going to force people to do it, it's probably not good. You know what I mean? When you force your kids to brush their teeth, that's different than an adult forcing another adult to sort their garbage and rinse it off and going, it's going to be good for everybody. It's not. Because all these institutions develop their own institutional interests, and then everything goes out the window. Because they're not really interested in saving that. Like, do you think a garbage man gives a crap about saving the environment? No. He gives a crap about having a job and feeding his kids. The problem is that we've made a job exist that does the exact opposite of what the purpose it's supposed to do, and simultaneously now you've taken somebody from the possibility of them doing infinite other jobs that might better serve the society, and then you've made them essentially a garbage man who damages the environment. But it doesn't matter, because they're not thinking about that. What they're thinking about is the fact that they've got to feed their kids or pay off some bill or work or do whatever. You know what I mean? So the problem is that the job exists. It shouldn't. That job shouldn't exist. But if you did a private buyout of that industry and stopped having the government run waste management, you're going to get better results, because those people don't have to look at they only have to look at a small group of people, and maybe they can buy smaller trucks that don't use as much gas. They're going to find a way to save money, and then saving money will lead to better results for everyone. The government does not have to save money. It just has to raise taxes to spend more of yours. All right. That's it for today. Stop rinsing off your garbage at the very least. Okay? And go look at actual research done about the amount of resources that are put into renewing a resource. Because the math doesn't add up. All right, everybody. But don't worry, we're going to get through it. Okay, bye.